Hey guys, long time no see. If you know who I am, my name's Nyx and I talk about manifestation on my YouTube channel based off of my personal beliefs. Today's a really special video. I'm gonna be doing my makeup while explaining why reality is a direct mirror of you. I'm gonna explain it more in depth in a way where you guys can understand a bit deeper as to why people say that in the first place, because when you hear it face value, you're kind of just like, what do you mean by that? But I'm gonna explain in depth. I'm going to be attempting a makeup look that is heavily inspired by Painted by Esther. She's done a lot of famous celebrities looks, and I want to try that blush look like she does. That's super iconic while I'm explaining this, so y'all will see that in motion. When people say reality is a reflection of you and it's your mirror, it's because reality is a reflection of everything that you've consecutively accepted for yourself as true. Overall, both the good things and the bad things. So if you ever try to take the moment to think to yourself what it is that you've been accepting for yourself when it comes to a certain aspect of life that you've been trying to manifest that's been a struggle, you'll kind of notice why there's been a disconnect between you and your desire. And it's because of what you've been identifying with. Because you manifest who you are, your identity. So with reality being a mirror, it's a reflection of everything that you've consecutively accepted for yourself that is a part of your identity. So everything that, if you take the second to kind of do a self-reflection moment and reverse engineer and look back at moments in your life that you really remember and see how your mindset was in direct harmony or in alignment with that situation, you'll start to understand what I'm trying to say. Hence why I always preach why self-concept is so important, because self-concept is the foundation of implementing a new identity. You never not really have a self-concept, guys. So with reality reflecting to you where your identity is at, it's kind of like a spark plug, kind of trying to see, okay, where am I at now? Where's my mindset at now? Hence why self-concept is so important in the manifestation community. It's not really talked about as much as it should be because people disregard the importance of it, but you manifest who you are. You're the source of everything that you experience. Like, it's like you're the power adapter and like the phone is trying to connect to charge. Excuse me, you're giving the phone power. Reality is a reflection of you. You're the source of it. You're never not source. You're never not having a self-concept. So with reality being your mirror, it's gonna reflect to you everything that you consecutively accept for yourself. The way that who you are as a person, the way you get treated as an identity, the things that you claim to be and the things that you claim to have and how you perceive things. It's a direct snitch of where your self-concept is at, where your mindset is at. So take this video as like a indicator to be like, okay, why don't I observe where my mind is to know where I'm currently at right now and how my life is currently reflecting where my mind is, and possibly why it's been harder for me to manifest a certain thing in comparison to another. Is because I've talked with a lot of people and they're like, oh, it's been harder for me to manifest this other thing, but it's easier for me to manifest this other thing. Like, it's like the topic where it's like, how is it that I can manifest seeing silly things out in the wild, like lime green cars, or manifesting a free cup of coffee, or seeing purple butterflies and all this stuff, but I can't manifest a specific person, or I can't manifest a certain amount of money, or I can't manifest this, that, and the third, no matter what I do. And it's like, where's your mindset at when it comes to those certain aspects in life? For example, somebody could be struggling with manifesting money and they may not have self-awareness about where their mindset is at when it comes to money. They could be identifying with poverty, being like, I never have enough money. Even if I have money, I can never touch it because money is so hard to get and I have to live from paycheck to paycheck and I never have more than enough. But then they're trying to affirm, oh, I have $20,000 in my bank account. And it's like, you manifest who you are, your identity. You're saying something that's completely different from what you're affirming. Like, you're identifying with something that's completely different from what you've been telling yourself. And it's like, okay, flip the script. Instead of telling yourself you never have more than enough and then contradicting yourself every other minute, why don't you tell yourself, I always have more than enough money? You guys can watch my previous video talking about how to manifest lifelong abundance into your life by embodying that new identity that you always have more than enough, by making these affirmations about you. Not being limiting, saying that affirmations don't work. They work. But it's like, it's counterproductive when you keep on perceiving things based off of who you are as an identity as not having more than enough, and then trying to say, oh, I've been affirming that I have $20,000 and it isn't working. Even if you were to robotically affirm that you got the $20,000 and you did get it, that $20,000 wouldn't be shit to you because you say that you never have more than enough. That $20,000 isn't going to mean nothing to you, and it's going to go down the drain. It's gonna go down the drain. And I speak from experience, because even when I would have money come in my hands, it would go away super quick because I would always identify as not having enough money, and that money was hard to get, and that money wasn't sustainable for me. But that was my identity, and reality was a reflection of what? Me. It's my mirror. So it was going to show me that regardless, even if I had enough money for things that could have lasted me a while, it never did. So it's like, take the time to ask yourself, what is it that you've been identifying with certain aspects of your life that you feel like you've been currently struggling with? Take the time to observe where your mind goes for a minute. I genuinely always remind people, like, self-awareness is key, because when I started to have more self-awareness about certain things in my life, I had an understanding of why things actually turned out the way that they did, in a way where I wasn't blaming myself, but I had more self-awareness to the point where I wouldn't allow those things to ever happen again. Now they don't. I can spend whatever amount I want, and it'll come back to me, because why? I always have more than enough money. I'm always supplied for. Insinuating that I always have more than enough money, because that means I have enough for my needs, my necessities, and then my wants. Do you see how I flipped the script? Instead of telling myself, oh, I never have more than enough, I started telling myself all the time that I always have more than enough money, even before seeing proof in my 3D reality. And then I started to perceive things that way, and then things came into fruition that way. You can apply this example into any aspect of your life, whether it's an SP, whether it's money, whether it's academics, whether it's any of those things. Reality is always going to be a mirror of everything that you accept for yourself, both the perceived good and the perceived bad. The lack of talk about the importance of ourself in the community is daunting, because we have people genuinely thinking that talking about identity and self-concept is a limiting belief, and I'm just like, it's not limiting, it's liberating, because it helps people understand why they've been in a constant loop of never obtaining what they want, because they keep on identifying with shit that's a complete contradiction of that. It'll be the people that are like, you're source of your reality, yada yada yada, you're a limitless being, but y'all are limiting yourselves because of the laws, rules, and regulations that you've placed for yourself. Self-concept genuinely saved my life. I talk about it all the time, but it helped me realize that my intrusive thoughts don't manifest, and it helped me manifest things much quicker, because what do you manifest? Who you are as an identity. And it helped me become more self-aware of the things that I was identifying with, to the point where I am consciously aware of the things that I consecutively accept for myself, to a point where I never have to suffer and experience certain circumstances ever again, because that doesn't apply to who I am anymore. That's the old me. I'm more self-aware, and I truly understand the meaning when people say reality is a reflection of you. It's a mirror of you, because it is. It's a mirror of everything that you accept for yourself, both the good and bad. So I hope this video helps a lot of people, like, kind of develop that self-awareness and start to realize where their mindset has been this entire time, because you'll be having people that are like, I've been affirming for X amount of time and it hasn't been working, yada yada yada, because they're not self-aware. And it's like, what have you been thinking around that time period? You've been affirming for 3 months, nothing's happening. Okay, where has your mind been the entirety of these 3 months? I look like a tomato. Oh my God. We've neutralized it a little bit. It looks like it's blended with the contour, but that's okay. We still gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be doing 2 different Huda Beauty shades of powder. I'm gonna be using the Cherry Blossom Cake around here, and then I'm gonna be using the cinnamon butter on my face, so y'all will see that. I've never done Cherry Blossom Cake before, so I'm scared. Oh, okay. So far, so good. Right now, I look like a ghost just sat their cheeks in between my nose, but it's okay, because this is a work in progress, guys. But as I was saying, reality is 100% a reflection of your inner world, your mindset, your current state of being. So the best thing that I would do if I was in your guys' shoes to kind of take the time to reflect is kind of observing where your mind goes initially. Like reverse engineering back at situations and being like, where was my mindset at? Where is my mindset currently at? And where does my mind drift to when it comes to certain aspects that I want to manifest? Like, where is my mindset at currently? And if you take the time to kind of like observe where your mind goes, you're kind of just like, what the fuck? You guys know I love Eric Down, and I always like quote stuff he says, but he mentioned stuff about observing yourself for like 24 hours and stuff like that when I first got into manifestation and found out about his channel. And when I observed my mindset for like about a day, like just didn't do any like conscious affirming, like I just kind of observed where my mind went initially, kind of like a shadow day, I was just like, where the what the fuck have I been doing? Once I figured that out, I was able to not only manifest my desires, but I was able to persist through circumstances because I understood why those circumstances were there in the first place, because they were a reflection of who I used to be. And all it takes with manifesting, when people talk about detachment, isn't detaching from wanting your desires. Who wouldn't want to manifest being a millionaire? Like what? Like it means that you're detaching from your old awareness, who you used to be, because that's not you anymore. So now that you have a better understanding and more self-awareness of who you used to be, because you observed your mindset and you know where your mind initially goes. But it is definitely an eye-opening experience. Okay, right now everything blush wise looks good. It doesn't look exactly like the Painted by Esther technique, but it's similar. It's gonna look better once I, like, you know, spray everything down and whatnot. If I don't look like a glaze after I spray my face with setting spray, I'm doing something wrong. Okay, the blush is looking similar to the makeup looks that she usually does. I like it so far, but I definitely will say observing your mindset and having a level of self-awareness of where your mindset used to be is definitely something that can help people out with understanding why they've been struggling with stuff. Because whenever people have come to me and talked about things that they were struggling with, I would tell them, hey, you should observe your mind and where it initially goes, kind of reverse engineer and kind of ask yourself where your mindset is currently with these certain things. And then it's kind of like an eye opener. One thing that people tend to forget is that all it takes with manifesting is detaching from your old awareness, from your old identity, the things that you used to accept as truth, not your desires. Don't listen to anybody that says you have to detach from your desires. Because when you're elevating your self-concept and you're embodying your new identity, you kind of naturally feel good with or without your desire because you know it's already yours. So you don't have to worry about that aspect because that's irrelevant. It's just letting go of the things that you used to accept and not reacting and responding to the same circumstances that the old you would respond to and react to in a certain way. So whenever you're met with circumstances, now that you've observed yourself and you're aware of who you are, you're going to be able to maneuver and navigate through those things, and you won't react the same way, spiraling, thinking, oh no, I'm doing something wrong. Because you're not doing something wrong just because those circumstances are in your face. You're actually doing something right because you're challenging who you used to be. You're overcoming your old awareness. You're overcoming the comfortability that you've made, like the things that you've made normal for yourself. You're challenging the normality of what you've accepted for yourself and your mind's brain and like your mind's logical side. That's literally all it is. I have not used my Dior mascara that much, but when I did, I really liked it. It made my lashes look really long, so I'm gonna use it on my lower lashes since I have my lashes already done professionally. But yeah, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about in this video, talking about how and why reality is your mirror and the importance of self-awareness, because I feel like once people start to become self-aware as to why their life is the way it is because of where their mindset has been this entire time, without blaming yourself, but matters so of like not identifying with that anymore and taking accountability and taking matters into your own hands to implement that new lifestyle that you wish to achieve with that new mindset, that new identity, everything becomes easier. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And if I could do it with the things that I've overcome and the circumstances I've overcome, and to be here today, having the platform that I have, talk about it with people and to uplift people, telling them that no matter what the circumstances are, they can still pave through them. If I could do that, you guys can too. Success is inevitable if you really think about it. I love this makeup look. I look so fucking good. Now I'm gonna finish it all off with the one side as powder mount to make it stick throughout the day. Oh my god, this one is almost running out. There's spots on my face. Oh god, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. My makeup is still safe. My makeup is still safe. There we go. Like I said, if I don't look like a glazed donut after I'm done with setting spray, I'm doing something wrong. Now we're gonna wait for this to dry, and then I'm gonna put my hair down, put all my accessories on, and we're done. Oh my god, okay, everything looks so good. The makeup ended up really perfect. I love it. But anyways, guys, I really hope this video helped you guys understand why people say reality is a reflection of you, why it's a mirror, and why self-awareness and reflection and self-concept once again is so important. But until next time, remember guys, reality is your yes man, not your enemy. Love you.